When I think of good things from France, I think of Napoleon, the Paris Commune, Croque Monsieurs, and the Yellow Vest. I think of not so good things like luxury wines and fashion brands that have no business costing what they cost. Foucault. Ugh. I think of a serious problem with colonizing Africa, but I don't think of cameras. Now, maybe Ingenieux is a household name for you, but certainly not for me. Pixii has many problems, and a big one lies in their ambassadors and people promoting them. Let's get into it. Allons-y.
You are now watching Lion Hunter D.
Welcome back to the channel. Je m'appelle Dylan, and today we're going to talk about Pixii. I'm going to start with some quick disclaimers and gotchas. I'm going to talk about some specific people in this. I am in no way advocating for any harassment against them, no action in particular. I'm just going to talk about, things that have happened publicly. And maybe at the end of the day, you can decide, if you still want to watch them or buy them a coffee or whatever. You can make your own moral judgments at the end of the day. Now, I wanted to mostly keep politics off this channel, but when you're talking about economics, production, geopolitics, etc., related to cameras, it's bound to come up. So this kind of just was everything coming together. If you want pure gear videos, this is probably not the one. That's fine. There will be plenty more, and there's plenty more out there. I have no problems with Pixii personally. These are my thoughts and criticisms. I reached out to them actually, and they did not respond. Some people have bought out of just pure interest and are not ambassadors. I'm sure they will disclose that on their own channels if they are or not. So this doesn't fall on them in any way. You don't automatically align with the company for buying their product. Importantly, I don't care about canceling people. This has all been done publicly, said publicly, or as public information. I'm responding to it. That's it. And I'm here to stand on business. One person mentioned served in their military. I have nothing against veterans. There's a difference between patriots sent to fight imperialist wars and then come home to nothing, and people that go off to war and come back to a cushy YouTube job where they still ask for tips. But Dylan, all camera OEMs have a history of military usage and they're used in war reporting. That's fine. I'm not going to dissect the history of every single company here. You can go do that on your own. All that out of the way, isn't the internet tiresome in 2024? Let's get back into it. So Pixii is a small company made in France. They're the only other company making digital rangefinders right now. They're APS-C, e-shutter only, and quite expensive. By the time this video drops, they may have released another full-frame camera or monochrome camera. We will see. I'm dropping this on the same day they put that out. Again, very quickly, a crop sensor e-shutter camera with internal storage is not commendable. Open source software is maybe interesting and should reduce costs, but doesn't seem to be doing that. Seems more of like an outsourcing job. The upgradable aspect of the cameras is cool, but it also means you rely on them for service. It's not like they're allowing third parties to do this. Kind of understandable, but that's the deal there. And addressing price, you don't have a legacy to justify these prices. I know you're going for a very small market share. But yeah, you have no legacy to stand on. If you were trying to grab market share, these would be priced even more aggressively, in my opinion. And most importantly, made in France is not really a badge of honor when it comes to this sort of thing. You are a deindustrializing country, and you don't really have the manufacturing chops to claim that it's some badge of honor to be made in France. There are other countries that are rapidly industrializing, rapidly growing, such as China, that have far more manufacturing prowess. So again, just to blow that myth wide open, it costs more because the cost of living is jacked up by finance capital, and it doesn't actually correlate to the quality of labor, rather just the cost of living in that system. When juxtaposed against the manufacturing prowess of China, one major Pixii fan lost his mind. Buddy, come on. Of course, I kept the email.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have a completely upgradable camera that's hand assembled by engineers who live in a first world country. Bummer, huh? Now, if ever put together out of obsolete parts by malnourished child laborers in a dirt floor factory in Kakistan and were priced at $199, that's what we're talking about, right? By the way, what's our crop factor? My other cameras are a Fuji XS2 and X Pro 2, an Epson RD1, and, in the olden days, a Nikon D300, and I don't see any framing difference between those and the Pixii. Oh, you're talking about the frame size of the Canon AE1 that Dad had back in college? Time to stop living in the past, man. It's not cool with the teens.
Now, JL left this comment on my first video regarding the TT Artisan camera. He did delete it. It was a bit of an outburst. Again, not to harass him. This is clearly a very emotional individual about his purchases. I hope he finds peace. And yeah, very sad comment to read. Now, I don't believe he is officially affiliated with Pixii, but not a good look, Maizami. He was one of the first people to review the camera and is pretty staunch fan of the camera on his channel. So this is someone you have promoting your camera. Now on to the meat and potatoes, Mattias Burling. Mattias is a big YouTuber in the camera space. He is or was an official Pixii ambassador, and even runs, I believe, an unofficial Facebook group. And you'll see him promoting them, on his own media, on their posts, etc. Again, you likely know him from his affordable camera reviews and his now deceased dog, Gunpowder. Again, I reached out to Mattias and he did not respond. So this is what I have to go off of, and this is what I found. Mattias served in the Swedish military from 2010 to 2017. This is per his own Facebook. It's public info. Now, Sweden participated in the NATO operation against Libya in 2011. They were not officially a NATO member yet, but they did obviously work with them for quite a while. I don't know his full involvement in the military or what his rank is, position, what he actually was responsible for. But I do know that, well, he does some kind of media for them. This is a screenshot from his own Facebook that, again, he is proud of himself, essentially sanitizing the war crimes committed in Libya. So without knowing the full story, he at the very least sanitized war crimes. Now, if you find yourself in lockstep with HRC,
We came, we saw, he died.
well, you might be on the side of evil. Now, he also changed his logo colors, and I know he promoted some donation funds in his videos in support of Ukraine. It was after the SMO started, and he is still shilling for Ukraine these couple years in. Again, very briefly, there was a coup in 2014. They shelled the Donbass for 8 years, killing ethnic Russians. Wanted to join NATO, and Russia said enough is enough and started the SMO. They don't want missiles on their border, so they are justified in defending their people. Now, one of the main goals of the SMO is to denazify Ukraine and their government, and they have a serious Nazi problem. So you can understand why Mattias supports this and NATO broadly. The guy hasn't seen a war crime he doesn't love. So why make a video that's political when this is supposed to just be positive, fun vibes all the time? Well, for one, I want young creators or aspiring creators to know that this isn't a meritocracy. You're not guaranteed to grind and gain following just because you're doing it. Some people get followers through nepotism. I would go as far as to say most of this is not organic. People are getting their numbers pumped, their views pumped, based on obviously the content they're putting out, but other factors as well. That's not out there to say. People get cushy nepo jobs all the time. Despite that, don't be discouraged. Still do it because you love it. If you make money from it, great. Just know that it's probably not going to be a career, and you'll actually probably be better off if you just do productive labor as your main job and do this for fun, do this for the art, do it for the passion. Again, if you make a career of it, awesome. And finally, we have a collective responsibility when we're taking photos and videos and putting content out on the internet. People may disagree with this one, but it is based in fact and based on what I could find. So again, you have a collective responsibility to either try and do real journalism or just toe the line of the establishment. You can sanitize war crimes or you can call people out for it. You have to understand the geopolitics at play. We must not speak nonsense. And to Pixii, look, I don't know if this changes anything for you. Probably not. I'm a pretty small channel, but I do think that eventually having Mattias as the face of your brand will blow up in your face. I don't have some personal vendetta against you. This is just my honest criticism. I do hope that you continue to improve as a company and can offer something, unique and compelling at, well, a better price than what you're currently selling it at. Now, my channel will likely be overrun with bots, or maybe this will just nuke engagement entirely, but this is something important that I felt like I had to say, so I'm going to say it. Look into things further, make your own assessments. There is plenty of, propaganda and also truth out there to find. Anyways, that is going to be it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. My name is Dylan. I will catch you in the next one for a likely far less political video. Again, I'll catch you the next one later. Merci.